I had severe back pain to start with. Went to my chiropractor, and it was about 9 days before I actually ended up in hospital. He said, if my treatment doesn't help you, you should go to your family doctor and get referred to a neurologist. And I thought he was nuts, because I thought, why would I go see my family doctor and get referred to a neurologist if I have pain in my back? My back is out. That's just crazy. As the week progressed, I also started having trouble breathing, and my niece took me into Emerge. But they said, we have no idea why your hands and feet are numb, so just go home, and if it gets worse, come on back. Emerge didn't have the answers, but the chiropractor did. It was so bizarre. When I went to see my GP, he had tested my reflexes, and he said, he says, I think this might be GBS. And I went, okay. That meant nothing to me. The next 3 days, it became apparent that I couldn't do anything without having assistance. So I went back into my GP, and he phoned Richmond and he phoned Vancouver General to see who could take me first. I went down to Vancouver General, and they had a whole team waiting for me right there. And I was put in ICU for 6 days to make sure my lungs didn't shut down. My paralysis went up to my face, so my hands and feet were already numb. It basically had been coming all up through the body. I was in the hospital starting November 18th, and I went home for 4 days at Christmas time just to see how I'd fare it there. And that's when the GBS started to come back and came up to my knees. I received IVIG in the hospital twice. The first time when they first diagnosed me, and then again when I went back. My recovery in the hospital was a very interesting process for me, because I've been very independent all my life. So to have to rely on other people to do things for me was really difficult. You are so exhausted from things, trying to push yourself through things, and this was something that they reassured me, no, you need to take the time not to do that. You need to take the time to rest and then regroup and then come back. It was strange to have people in the shower with you. It was strange to have people there to transfer from the wheelchair to the bed. Walking when you can't feel your feet, you don't really know where you are. You're hanging onto that walker for dear life, and you don't know where you're placed in your feet. My husband came up every day. I have 2 daughters who were scared out of their minds, because this is the first time anything had ever happened like this to Mom. So they came up when they could. And my friends found out, then I had a lot of people in the hospital there. And there was a lot of support within the patients themselves. So anytime anybody could do something new, everybody was cheering for each other. This is all happening around craft fair season, and it was a big thing for my daughters and I all to go to the craft fair. And as they're getting older, I'm going like, no, we need to still do this. So, they arranged for a wheelchair taxi to come pick me up. That was very emotional for me, because it was new being in a wheelchair and being out in the community, and also, anytime you're out like that with GBS, it's very tiring. I came back home, I had 12 stairs up to go to the bathroom, or 12 stairs down to go to the bathroom, and it was a daunting experience every time. It was like, okay, muster all your energy just to be able to go up those stairs, and then when you got upstairs, you had to stay there for a while because you're too tired to come on back down. But it was very lonely at home when everybody was at work during the day. And then, of course, as soon as they walked through the door, it was like bombarding them with all this, what did you do today? Anything exciting? As it came on and I got better and better at what I was doing, I was able to do more. But it was difficult at first. And then trying to gear up to go back to work, that was an interesting process as well. And I managed to get back there for 1 hour 3 times a week. And even that was exhausting. Your brain doesn't work the same. Your energy level isn't there. And as soon as you start getting tired, you start making mistakes you never made in the past. I actually volunteered back on the ward, the high intensity rehab ward, because I thought, if all I can do is create even just a smile for these people who are struggling, and know that, can tell them, I've been here, I know what you're going through, then at least that was giving back somehow to the system. There was this position called rehab assistant, and it didn't require giving needles, but you're helping people. I went back to school at the age of 55. I passed it with flying colors, and I've never looked back. I love what I do. GBS has been a gift, because it gave me that year to look and focus on what I needed to do for who I was. And this position presented itself, and it's an amazing place to be. When I talk to people, nobody had any answers for anything. Nobody knew what course it could take. I think it should be mandatory for all ER doctors to go through a process of learning what GBS is about. Because if you send somebody home and they're struggling to breathe, they get home, they may not be able to come back. Even when they say you're going to have a family meeting. Nobody says, well, you know, it's just a bunch of people getting together to talk and we'll just tell you a little bit about what's going on. But that's a big fear issue when patients hear that. But there wasn't a lot for the supporters in my life either, like my husband and my kids. There was not a lot being directed to them to help them understand what I was going through or ways in which to help me either. So I wish that there were more supports in place for that. This is a journey and it's a process. And not everybody has all the answers, and everybody goes through it differently as they present differently. So I'm almost 11 years out, and I'm still getting returns every day, something new. Fatigue's still with me. I manage it well, and that's the other piece too, is energy conservation. We're all in such a big hurry to get back to and do everything to what we used to do that we rush into everything. But our bodies really do need that time to rest, get better. It may take you a while to get there, but you will get there. The hardest part about having GBS for me has probably been realizing that I have limitations still. Your life is never going to be the same in any illness that you have. I have a lot of energy, but it's, you know, now I have to manage that a little bit better. For me, there has been more positives because, like I said, it basically changed my life. I've been a role model for my children in not only getting through this, but also in changing jobs and careers. Every day I know I'm in the right place, and I couldn't have gotten there if I hadn't had the GBS. I wouldn't have known that position existed. I wouldn't want anybody else to go through this journey that I've gone through, but I'm certainly there to help them with whatever they need on that other side. It also has given me a greater understanding of the things that I needed, but also how I can give back to other people who don't have GBS but have other things similar. Be aware, we are rare, please share.